So, but here I am, and I do want to talk to you guys about a couple of things. And truthfully, I'll need to book more time with you to really train you on some of the stuff I want to talk about today on building and what does it mean for you in the building side of it. And Perry's right, on our products, I mean, there's a few of our products that are untouchable in the industry. And you need to understand that. You got a brush? Something? Oh, there we go. That are untouchable in the industry. And I'm not here to give a motivational speech. I'm really here to have a direct talk with you guys. And thanks, Perry, for what you said. Guys, you have no idea, in the leadership training world, what I'm offered to train people. Like, monetarily. To do a session like this would probably cost $100,000 if I did it for another company. That's what I would charge. You need to understand, and I'm not being arrogant about that, I just need you to listen today for the short period I'm here and take on what I'm talking about. I know how to build a business. I know the reality of it. I know the struggles that come with it. I know the marital problems, the financial problems, the kids' problems, the balance problems. I know all of those things that go with it. But I do want to talk logistically. You guys are the largest organization in combined worldwide. Give yourselves a round of applause for that. And now I get to take it away. Per person, you're the least productive. Per person, you're the least productive. Let's call it the truth. You didn't used to be. But over the past, 3-6 months, you have been. And I'll tell you why that happens. One, you run through a warm market, you didn't master the art of getting referrals, so that goes down. Two, you don't focus on mass recruiting as much as you used to, so that stops that influx of enthusiasm. One thing I'll tell you, new people make you enthusiastic. Whatever you're frustrated about, get a new recruit, you'll be less frustrated. Right? Because they up your level of commitment in business. And the third and biggest part is we all argue about what's our position here. Here. I watched it in my career over 20 plus years, 30 years in business, is that everybody gets to a plateau and they decide, should I be more or should I be less? Where do I fit in the organization? Think about marriages that have gone through challenging times. It works the same way. Where does the relationship fit? Who's responsible for what? Does that make sense? And I'm sharing that with you guys because you've got to understand what you have your hands on. Perry talked about all the incentives and the spiffs and all that. Talked about our cancer care. Guys, and don't be embarrassed. How many people own that product? Don't be embarrassed. Show of hands. The Cancer Plus product, the one that Perry was just going through. So about 10% of the room. If you have a license and you're eligible to sell yourself, that's what you should do today. You should own that product. I'll tell you why. You will never sell it if you don't own it.
Yeah, sure.
True story. When I came in the industry, I was broke, like a lot of people. So the first policy I sold myself was $100,000. The new marker would be super awesome too. So my first life policy I owned was $100,000 on myself. Guess what I generally sold people? $100,000 policies. Then one day I was in a meeting, and a guy like me was telling me, thank you so much, the group, okay, now I got lots of markers, this is awesome, was telling the group the same thing, and he said he went home that day and increased his policy to $1 million. And then he started selling $1 million policies. That's exactly what happened to me? You might go, Ray, it's not that simple. It actually is. Our world is so karmic, it's unbelievable. What you own is what you'll sell because A, you believe in it, and now you're convicted at the kitchen table about it. See, if I sit down with you, and I'm telling you should buy $1 million policy because I want the premium and I want the commissions, right? But in the back of my mind, I'm going, but I won't buy one. There's an energy transference there. Don't miss it, guys. I'm not spending a lot of time on this, but you need to understand you need to own what you should be selling, and our core products, you should own all of them. Now, don't own them and have them come off the books. That's a waste of time. That's not what I'm saying. But then what's the other problem then? You're not doing enough to make enough money if you can't put an extra $50, $100 on yourself per month. When I was in Primerica, my life policies were $1,800 a month. No much wonder I made $80,000 a month. They're in direct proportion. And I love when people from MLM companies and direct selling companies go, well, I made 50 grand, 80 grand, 100 grand a month. No, they made that in 1 month. I made it every month. My T4A was between $860 and $960 per year. Get it? So that means I'm averaging that $80,000 a month. That's what I want to teach you guys. So the first thing you need to do before you leave this building today is make sure you check your own house. Cover yourself for what you should have, then go make sure you make enough money to keep it on the books. The chicken or the egg, what comes first, the money or the coverage? You heard what Perry was talking about. At the women's event, how many people are going to the women's event? Men can put up their hands. Great, awesome, good, good. Because if you don't have your hand up, you should change and go. It's a free event. The 4 guest speakers collectively are worth about $1 billion. The 4 female guest speakers collectively net worth is about $1 billion. Yeah. To pay to go to an event like that, you'd probably be $500 a person. So just to remind you what's included in that event and why you need to bring people in droves. It's a non-denominational event, which means it's not a big combined push, but of course it is. The opening speaker will be Haley, and she will talk about a client that used to be a recruit and a client, and they had $250 a month worth of coverage. They owned what they sold, but they didn't believe in it. So he quits the company. His wife is in an MLM. She makes $50,000 a year, and he didn't make much money in combined because he didn't do what? What he should. It's always somebody else's fault that he couldn't close the sale. You know whose fault it is if you can't close the sale? Yours. Practice, 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 and the worst of salespeople eventually close something with practice. Anyway, so this couple, very nice people, they'll be there, there'll be a video. He joined our company, then he quit, went back to becoming a general contractor. They were hit by a drunk driver, them and their 4 children. All of them almost killed. The wife is 43, husband's 44, they will never work a day in their life again. Ever. And she was self-employed with an MLM, and he was a self-employed general contractor, so what coverage did they have when they let this lapse? Nothing. How much, even if they were broke, would this have been more important to pay than anything else? Because it was going to protect the most important thing, their ability to make a living. I'd be willing to bet if I sat down with one-on-one with every one of you, most of you are improperly covered, or you let stuff lapse that you should have had. I just know. I've done this a long time. I'm not giving you shit. I'm just saying if you guys want to get back on track, all of you get the coverage in place that you should have, keep it on the books, because you went and did the work necessary to keep it on the books. How about that for a commitment? I will commit to $200 a month coverage on myself, and I will make sure it stays on the books. Do you know this room alone can probably do $50,000 a day just by correcting your improper coverage? You know that, right? Be clear about it. Okay, so this family has lost everything, and now all I see on Facebook and emails about them trying to fundraise to feed their children. Now eventually, there'll be a big payout from the insurance company. But you know, in our wonderful country, how long those things take. Should take probably around 7 years. Yep. So they'll be almost 50 years old before they have a quality of life again. Where if they would have kept, Kevin's running the numbers for me, if they would have kept what he was covered for, the family was covered for, we probably would have paid out about $250,000 to that family, over $250 a month, Paul. But I guess it was more important that the kid be in hockey. You know the kid that's not in hockey anymore because they can't afford it, that kid? Guys, I'm trying to have an authentic conversation with you. So when Perry asked me to come, I had this program called Recruiting Mastery I had written for a direct selling company 5 years ago before I came to Combine. They paid me $10,000 a session to train on it. It's with legal right now. We're getting it all edited for here. But what I want you guys to understand what I know. When you come into this business, you don't need to be good. You just need to be a professional referrer. You need to master the art of creating names. And I'm going to show you how today. And I hope some of you guys are recording me. I see Mark is there, so get it from him or whatever. Yep. And you're welcome to record me. Everything I say is compliant. Okay? So my disclaimer was, go write yourself up for everything you need, but keep it on the books. There's my disclaimer. Okay? So you're not pushing shitty numbers. That's not my goal. So guys, it's all about getting names. So I came in the business, and I was actually very shy and aloof. Not a people person at all. Most of you guys know I'm an auto mechanic, right? You know what auto mechanics do for a living? Swear at nuts and bolts. Okay, that's what we do. I mean, if you guys ever worked on a car and it's a bolt stuff, if you swear at it, it comes out. You guys are you mad at me? You hate your life? Wake up, guys, come on. Okay, so what I knew a couple of things. Number one, I didn't want to prospect. Cold canvassing prospecting, the idea of that made me want to vomit. So that was off the table for me. So number one, I knew that wasn't on the agenda. When you joined here, was your ambition to prospect? Put a grand if it was. Please don't put a grand. You didn't want to prospect. You're kidding me. You don't want to do that. And if you do, you're awesome people. I hate it. Okay. But prospecting was one of the two, so I had to figure out how not to prospect and build a business. So we all know about 3-foot rule recruiting. I talk about a lot. And why do I talk about that is because it's how I developed my whole business. Between that and business to business. Those two things I figured out I could do. The first one, I sucked at a lot at first because I don't have good people skills or didn't have good people skills. That was easy to me. You know what I learned about business owners? They'll invest money. Not always, but if I prospect you and you own a business and I go in and say, hi, my name's Remy Young, I represent a company called Klein Insurance. I know you're busy, I'm busy, just want to say hello. I'm going to be in the area next week, and I specialize in helping small business owners like yourself possibly qualify for free disability insurance. Can I pop in next week? I'll bring you a coffee and take 15 minutes and show it to you.
Sure, no problem.
Of course. How many times a day could you do that? I'm going to give you the number. You need to do that 10 times a day. It's not how many times, it's how many times will you do it. 10 times. Do you guys think I have that down? You know I didn't have a piece of paper here, right?
Yeah.
Hi, my name's Remy Young. I represent a company called Klein Insurance. Was in the area. I know you're busy. I'm busy. Don't want to take any time. I'm going to be in the area next week. We actually specialize in helping small business owners like you qualify for free disability insurance. Can I pop in next week and bring you a coffee? They say yes to the coffee. Find out how to take the coffee. Now there's a commitment. Go in 15 minutes, you obviously know what I'm talking about. Return to premium, DAP, SDP, got it. It's not free disability insurance, you explain to them how it works. And I'll even do the presentation, easiest presentation in the world. Thank you so much, Bob, for giving me the time. Here's the coffee, I promise you, only gonna take 10 to 15 minutes. Here's how this works. We believe that small business owners have two problems. I'm giving you the presentation for you guys who are recording it, congratulations. We believe small business owners have two problems. Number one, they never really save money. You want to know why, Bob, you never save money? Because you believe one day your business is going to make so much money, you don't need to save money. Would you agree? They go, absolutely. Number two, they never really want to protect their income because they believe no matter if they get sick or injured, they'll work. Do you agree that you feel you'll always work? Yes, I do. We have a solution to both those problems because the truth is you need to save money, and the truth is something really bad could happen and you might not be able to work. Would you agree if you were in a car accident and became paraplegic, you might not be able to work? What if you use your voice for a living and you lose the ability to speak? You wouldn't be able to work. Would you agree, Bob? Yes, great. Our disability plan works like this. We're going to cover you for some base costs so you can replace yourself. And the great news is, if you stay in this plan for 20 years, we'll give you all your money back less any claims for a savings program, and we protect your income. Wouldn't you agree that's the perfect plan for you? Yes, I do. Great. Grab me your driver's license and your checkbook, and we'll get started. Who thinks you could sell with that presentation? Please put your hand up. It works. Trust me. Why do you think my kids have made so much money here? Because I taught them how to do what I do. But the secret isn't that I do that. 10 times a day, 5 times a week, that's 50 requests. Out of 50 requests, you'll get 1 to 2 closes. That's it. That's all you get. But 1 to 2 closes at $300 a month is $7,000 a week, new face. Who wants $7,000 a week, new face? And guess what this is? Daytime activity. I don't want to work nights. Congratulations. You don't have to work nights. In Ontario, you guys ready? There's 1.8 million small, medium enterprise businesses. I don't think we talked to them all. We may have missed 1.775 million businesses. Truthfully. So I'm just sharing that with you. So I got good at this, and I got good at this. Let's go back to names. So here's the deal. We have some things no other company has. Number 1, you have a recruiting bonus. Do you guys understand this? Number two, you have the ability to make overrides and residuals and never, ready, never sell a policy. It's the only company in the world that will pay you if you never sell something. Do you know this? If you know it, then why aren't you using it? So sales leaders, and by the way, district leaders don't get to do this. You know, your illustrious leader here can't get paid on this. You do. So all you guys that want to be pairing to get a 10% raise so you can spend 10 grand a month on an office, you don't get this. You lose this. So all the money that's paid for building, by the way, is paid to sales leaders and sales reps. It's not paid to districts. Districts should have already built. Make sense? I want you to stay with me on this, guys. So, in the field recruiting bonus, there's a couple major problems, right? Number one is the number of people that you put in, okay? That's the number one problem you're going to have. So when I come up the top here, because this is where I want to get very clear as to how this is going to work, so you guys don't miss it, right? Okay, so you go out and in a quarter recruit 6 people, and they go to class, they pass class, and the first 2 weeks they have to do 500 in APV. If you're a sales rep, you connect with a sales leader to make sure this gets done. Yes? Okay, and I'm going to show you how to make it easy. Then over a 10-week period, is it 10 or 13? 10-week period, they have to do a total of 6,500 APV, and then you're going to end up getting on this group $5,500 bonus money. Do you know bonuses don't charge back? Yeah. Okay, good. Bonus money plus a 2% override for 2 years. And if you're a sales rep, who did all the work? Say the sales leader. Yeah, the sales leader will do all of that work for you. Guys, don't miss this. It's really important. So 6 go to class and so on, do 12 with doubles and so on. Do you know if you just did this once, 12 people in this quarter, and you did nothing else, and I'm going to assume that you lose 2 people in Q2, they quit. Lose 2 people in Q3, they quit. Lose 2 more people in Q4, they quit. You know how much money you make? $94,000. You've never sold a product. That's a fact. And you know none of it charges back. It's all bonus money. Who thinks they can invite 12 people to the women's meeting, get them to join, so you can make $94,000 extra over the next 12 months?
So that's 94 for the 12.
Yes. If you get more, see what I shared with the guys, if you did it quarterly, it stacks. 94, 180, and so on. And it keeps rolling out further and further. But what are you building? An army. The truth is, to any of my TLs, and I don't think there's any other ones in here, looking around the room quickly.
Daniel.
If you, Daniel's not in here, he's sitting out there. If you average less than 10,000 as a TL, by the end of this year, I'll be requesting you roll back. I will no longer allow somebody to run a district in my zone that is doing at least 10,000 a week. If you're not making 150 grand a year, then why would you want to be a DL and have all that responsibility? Do you know you make more money as a sales rep? Because you actually get the bonus. I was talking to Haley, my daughter Haley. She's just doing 10,000 now, and she got the bonus program. And now the minimum is you have to do 100,000 base to get a bonus as a DL. You know who thought that up? That's me. I'll take full responsibility. When DLs complain, they go, because it used to be a $40,000 base, and I argued, Ken, I go, that's too low. We're setting the standard of acceptable performance of a failure number, because you won't make a living. Make sense? So Haley calls me, she goes, did you know they changed the base to $100,000? I go, yeah, that was my idea. She goes, that was a bad idea. Right? I go, Haley, you don't understand. I want you to succeed. I go, what are you averaging right now? She goes, 10,000 a week. I go, congratulations, you'll have a 20% list. You'll match your bonus. She goes, yeah, but. I go, no, but, Haley. I go, did you rent an office? She goes, yes. I go, do you pay rent? She goes, yes. I go, do you have people that help you run your business? She goes, yes. I go, how could you do that at less than 10,000 a week? She goes, well, I couldn't. I go, then why would I accept that from anybody else? McDonald's, how often do you see one boarded up? You don't, do you? Because they will not allow a person to take a McDonald's that, number one, I don't know the numbers now, but it used to be you had to have $1 million of unencumbered cash and another $3 million leveraged. Do you know what unencumbered means? means it's loose change. You got no use for it. Or they wouldn't let you open it. Because they didn't want you to fail. Guys, I'm having a real business conversation with you guys today. Don't miss what I'm trying to help you guys understand. So, having said this, this is a starting base. But what about as a sales leader, what happens then? So you partner with somebody, and in a minute I'll use both whiteboards so I don't have to write too much stuff off, although it'll be a bunch of chicken scratch by I'm done. So as a sales leader, how many reps do you want to partner with that are going to bring you lots of 12 people? As many as possible, guys. Right, yeah, but Ray, I can't train all those people. Well, then get Joel to help you. Get Ricky to help you. Get Perry to help you. Get Tashana. Anybody can help you. They'll be happy to help you if they're going to cash out under them. Oh, but if they cash out under them, then I don't make the money. Okay, now you're being ridiculous. You ever play Monopoly? No. Anybody here ever played the game Monopoly? Seriously.
Yeah.
Okay, the person who gets Boardwalk and Park Place with hotels wins. Why? Because they made it so that if you just accidentally step on them, you pay dearly. Well, what do you think a DL or an SL with most people gets? They win. But if you can't train them all, you're better off still to get them trained. Do you want somebody you can override that you're babysitting, or you want to override somebody that you're not babysitting? Say, no, you guys aren't very interactive. You're not very good. Just kind of repeat that as we go. I don't yell like Perry.
I thought I warmed these guys up.
I
don't know what
thought so, you
happened.
did. Okay, so let's talk about how-tos then. Work with me on the how-tos, because I want you to get this very clearly. And I will come back out when we have the PowerPoint, the workbooks, and all the scripting and everything. But the how-to is simple. So number one, when I sit down with somebody and I do a one-on-one with them, the first thing you need to understand when you recruit somebody into our business, so this is for the sales leaders, certified recruiters, the most important thing is that your interview is not more than 15 minutes. If it's more than 15 minutes, you're doing it wrong. Because in 15 minutes, you'll know if somebody wants to work for our company. And you know what I don't want to do ever is work for free. So if I spend 2 hours with you and you don't join, I work 2 hours for free. So in my 15-minute interview, it's just a series of questions. What do you currently do? What do you like? What do you currently do? What would you do differently about it? So on and so on and so on. I get to that point during the one-on-one. The biggest thing I focus on, and I think most of you guys have this. If you don't, Perry will send it to you, is my sales and distribution presentation. Most of you guys know this? Yes? No? No. So on the sales side, I go, listen, okay, if I'm going to recruit Perry today, I go, Perry, there's 3 ways we sell our products. We have something called lead cards, only company that'll give you existing clients to work with. We do warm market. We do business-to-business prospecting. Great news is, Perry, 1 to 2 hours work. You would do a policy or plan for family, $83 a month, 12 months. That's $1,000 per year. We'll give you gross 70% commission on that. That's $700. Perry, would you not agree $700 for 1 to 2 hours work is good compensation? What does Perry say? Yes. Guess what Perry just agreed to? Commission sales are good. Did I lie to him? Did I mislead him at all? No. Great. I go, but the truth is, Perry, that's sales. Now I'm going to take it away from him. Do you really want to be a salesperson? No. Great, Perry. Well, actually, we have a distribution side. Our company's expanding. We're looking for key individuals that want to help build and be financially independent. Everybody in our company starts as a sales rep, Perry. So you go in, you do this, you make $700 every couple hours. You agree that's good money still, Perry? Great. What I'd like to do, Perry, is help fast track your career and get you a $5,500 bonus. Perry, if I can get you a $5,500 bonus to fast track your career, would that be good for you and your family?
Yes.
Yes, Ray, that would be great for me. Perry, what would you do with it? And I wait for answer. And I wait till I get the right answer. Like the wrong answer is, I'll pay off my visa. That's a shitty answer. Paying off your visa is not exciting. Who's excited about paying off their visa? You might go, well, sort of. No, you're excited that you get to use your visa again. That's what you're excited about. True or false?
Sure.
Right? So guys, I say, Perry, so I write down the brass tacks. What would you spend that money on? A lot of times I take my family on a trip. Now drill deeper. Well, where would you go? Would that mean a lot to you? It really would. Tell me about your family. Well, I got my husband, I got my wife, I got 2 kids, and blah, blah, blah. I go, so this would mean a lot to you. So if I could do this for you, that'd be important to you? Yes, it would. Great. So what we're going to do next then is you're going to give me 6 names and numbers of people you know that would like a new career, and they're going to go to sales school with you. And that will potentially give you a $5,500 bonus. That's how I get people to give me 6 field recruits before they even get started. See, the problem is, you got to ask what people are excited. not when they went home and changed their mind. See, when I came to my first opportunity meeting, and I sat in the meeting, when the meeting was over, I was jacked up, man. I went home, it was like 10 o'clock, didn't sleep, so excited about the possibility of joining this industry, making gazillions of dollars. And then when I finally fell asleep, I woke up at 5 a.m. to go to my crappy job I hated, for money I couldn't live on anymore, and by the time I got to work, I talked myself out of it. I'm reminded about all the things I'm not, right? Well, I'm not a public speaker. I don't know how to sell anything. They said I have to take a test. I can't take a test. I have a great education. So it only took a 20-minute ride from my home to my place of business to tell myself I wasn't smart enough, not good enough, and I'm never going to do this business. And it was 7 months later before I joined the industry. My life had to be 7 months more screwed up before I joined. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Guys, don't do that to yourself. By doing this, I'm instilling them very simply what they get paid. Very good over here that they can fast track their career. The good news is, Perry, if this works out, these 6 people could be part of your organization if they all do this once a week. That's $6,000 times a 25% management override. Perry, we're going to give you a residual royalty on these people you bring in our company, so that's $1,500 a week. Perry, do you want to make $700 a week on your own efforts or $1,500 a week on other people's efforts? Well, that'd be great. Let's go a little bit further, Perry. Get to 10 active people. Now, same thing, $10,000 in production, so 10 times 1,000, this analogy I used over here. Now you're going to make a 35% management override. Now, Perry, you're making $3,500 a week plus quarterly bonuses. Perry, do you want to make $3,500 a week on somebody else's efforts, $1,500 or $700? Which one are you interested in? So this is the position you want to do? Okay, so listen, what I'm going to do now, Perry, is we're going to play a game. Because I need to make sure you can see how we develop markets. Because if you don't know how we do this, you ever gone to IKEA? I use this analogy all the time. And bought a shelf.
Oh, yeah.
And it comes in a box. In 475,000 pieces. Like the engineer that designed these pieces. I will not shop at IKEA because I don't want to put the shelf together. Ever. Okay? Right? So that's kind of how people think, Per. So I want to make sure you understand how I'm going to teach you how to get here. But this is important. So 2 questions I want to verify again. If I can give you a $5,500 bonus, that would make things good for you and your family, yes? Yeah. You be excited about going home and telling your wife and kids that you're taking them to Disney World? Great. Yeah. And if I could get you here in 6 to 9 months, would that be better than your current career trajectory? Yeah. All right, beautiful. So what we got to do, we're going to play a little game, Per. And I'm going to go through a list of prompts, and we're going to make a list. It's really easy, Per. And I'm going to say, who do you know owns a pickup truck? And you're going to write down first names, no last names, no phone numbers. So we can agree this list is useless. Just a bunch of first names. You have to identify the list as useless or you won't get a big list. People are reluctant in giving you names and numbers, true or false? Yeah. You're reluctant in doing it. Sure. Okay, so great, we're going to do this list. So I take this list and I go through the prompts. I go, but there's rules. So rule number 1, Perry, if you know somebody that already works for Combine, you can't put their name down. And rule number 2, if you know somebody who has a pickup truck, and you know 8 people, I need all 8 names. Rule number 3, don't use the same person twice. Like any game, rules. You good with the rules, Bear? Great. I now hand Perry a blank piece of paper. What's on a blank piece of paper?
Nothing.
Is there lines? No. Because people will try to fill in the lines. No lines. Blank, white, not pink. White piece of paper. I hand this to Perry and I start going through the prompts. If Perry is, I'll give you the breakdown. If you're 18 to 25 years old, you'll give me between 15 and 30 names. If you're 25 to 50 years old, you'll give me 60 to 100 names. And if you're over 50, it'll be 100 plus. All first names, no last names, no phone numbers. Still useless, yes? Yes. I go, great, Perry, listen, the next part of our little project here, flip the page over. So one side's got all these random names on it, right? Flip the page over and write down 2 characteristics of a business partner. So you and I are going to open a McDonald's franchise. We're going to put $1 million in it each. You want me to be some type of person, like hardworking, ethical, trustworthy. What 2 would you want? What 2 characteristics would you want me to have? Committed, yeah, and mindset. Positive mindset. Great. So she writes down committed and positive mindset. I flip the page back over and I pull out a highlighter. Now highlight every single one of these names that has one of those 2 characteristics. So she highlights everybody that's committed. And the first person, the first prompt, by the way, is who is your best friend? Okay? So I know the very first name on this miscellaneous list is Perry. He's your best friend. And I say, great, now I hand you what we call a top 25 list. Perry has all this stuff. If he doesn't have it, I'll email it to him. And you talk about, and I say, now take all these people you highlighted and put their last names and phone numbers. This is the only place you'll get stopped for a second, and only a second. Remember I said, practice makes perfect, yes? Okay, so then you say to me, that you go, Ray, I thought this was just a game. I don't want to give you all these names and numbers. Couple things. Number one, I go back to this. I go, but it is important to you to take your family to Disney World, right? And if I was to call these people and we changed their life, would that be good for them? And if I didn't offend them, that wouldn't be bad for you. Okay, so then you would agree that it's in your best interest to give me these names and numbers. Great. I'm still going to say you said no. Say, your next objection will be, I want to call them first. It's my favorite one. Great, I totally understand that you might want to call them first. So how many years financial planning experience do you currently have? None. So when your friend goes, well, tell me about the industry, what can you say? Nothing. So wouldn't you agree that a professional would be better to make the calls than an amateur? So you still want the $5,500 for your family, see what I'm saying? You still want to go to Disney World? So do you want a professional to get you to Disney World or an amateur?
Professional.
Great, well I'm the professional, so let's do this list. She still says no. This is your final draw. You ready? You ready, Ricky? Simple. Great, I tell you what we're going to do. Let's call your best friend. And I'll prove to you that this works. I got your cell phone, and I know you have your cell phone, you don't have it on the table in front of you. Call your best friend. She has to call her best friend. If I call her best friend, will her best friend answer? Say no. We do not answer calls of people we don't know the number. True or false? You call your best friend and go, hey Perry, I'm just giving you a quick call. Talk to my friend Ray for a second. And you hand me the phone. Hey Perry, listen, just give you a quick call. We were just sitting down, and you know what I learned about you just a minute ago? That you're the most committed and enthusiastic person that you know. And we'd love to take you for a coffee about a business opportunity to get your opinion. What's better, Tuesday, Thursday, 7 or 9? Did I ask him if he'll go for a coffee? No. I told him we're going to take him for a coffee. Tuesday, he's your best friend, right? So your best friend's going to take your call, and your best friend's going to do that meeting. Now we hang up the phone, I'll go, that's what I'm going to do with the rest of your list. Do you still want to take your family to Disney World? Okay, let's fill out the list. I'm not done yet. It's almost done. You guys ready? There's two more really important parts of this. Then, when you're done your list, I want you to take a group text. Okay, let's put all 25 people in a group text. And I want you to say, hey, how are you guys? I just sat down with this incredible business person named Raymond Young. He's going to reach out to you. Please give him 2 minutes. You send a group text. Then I send a group text. Hey, how are you? It's Raymond Young. I know you just received a text. I'd be reaching out to you. When's a good time to talk to you for 5 or 10 minutes? Because if they don't know I'm calling, they will not take my call. Do you guys understand how big that tool is?
Yes.
I'll show you. That tool recruited 10,000 people in my previous business and paid me $1 million a year, and it wasn't hard at all. I didn't go door knocking. I didn't go cold canvassing. I recruited where I went. If I was at the grocery store and I met somebody, recruited them. If I was at Tim Hortons, I recruited them. I never did the nasties I watched some of you guys try to do to make a living. This was easy. But I didn't have a $5,500 bonus to pay them. I couldn't pay people who couldn't sell. You can. We can. We'll do that. Because we want to be a building machine.
That's it.
Guys, do you guys understand what I just showed you?
Yes.
I know I went through very quickly of what is a 3-hour training, but we have all these tools. Go a little further, right? So Perry's going to come in for an Mark's going to come in for an interview. I prospect Mark at Tim Hortons. This is where the rubber meets the road. You guys ready? This is the most important piece. This is the bigger picture for those who are good onboarders, trainers. But here's the bigger one. You guys ready? This is the 6 personal references not related to you. Okay, this is the most important thing I built in my business. This is the thing. If you said, Ray, tell me what turned your corner in your business. Because I like most people, I got stuck. Well, I got stuck way before you, dude. Like you're at 400 or whatever. I was stuck at like 140 grand for about 6 years. Couldn't seem to level myself up. Couldn't figure it out. It was this. Nobody taught this to me. I created it. So I meet Mark Parrish in Tim Hortons. We get chatting. Mark gives me his name and number, says he'd be interested in talking to me. Hey Mark, how are you? Ray Young, it was great talking to you yesterday in Tim Hortons. Couple rules. If you 3-foot rule recruit, you guys know the rules? If you do not book an appointment within 72 hours of that point of contact, 0.1% chance they will ever join your business. So if you're going to prospect, get ready to follow up or don't prospect. 0.1% chance they will ever join your business if you go beyond 72 hours. To the point, hey Mark, it's Ray. I pumped into you last week at Tim Hortons. Who? What are you talking about? I talked about business. No, I don't remember. Gotta go. That's a fact. Mark, listen, it's great talking to you yesterday in Tim Hortons. I just wanted to schedule our time, so tomorrow, 2 o'clock, still good for you? Say yes.
Yes.
Right. Perfect. Listen, when you come in, could you do me a favor? Bring 6 personal references unrelated to you, because if you're going to go forward with it, you've got to do some background checks and things like that. Is that good?
That's good.
Beautiful. Mark comes in, I do all the sales and distribution, we do the fun warm market list, but now I have this list he brought. Right? So now I'm going to call this list. Okay, Mark, so you ready to go forward? He goes, yeah. Now, I haven't screened Mark yet. I may have filled out his PRQ, may not have, don't really know. Mark may not even be working for our company. Right? Hey, Perry, how are you? Ray Young, give me a quick call from Combined Insurance. Good friend of yours, Mark Parrish, gave me your name and number. Mark will have already done a group text. So before Mark leaves, he'll do this group as well. He does the group text, and he says, hey, I'm just applying for a position in a company. A guy named Ray Young is going to call you. Can you please say nice things about me? That's what he's going to send them. Then I'm going to send a group text. Paul, Perry, you guys are in the group text. Hey, my name's Raymond Young. I just sat down with an associate friend of yours, again, unrelated to you. You know your first 5 sales have to be what? Guess what I'm doing for you? I'm going to get you your first 5 sales. So, hey guys, Mark Parrish gave me your name and number. When's a good time? I just need 5-10 minutes to ask questions about Mark. Perry says, 2 o'clock. Hey Perry, Ray Young calling from Combined Insurance. Is this still a good time? Yes, it is. Great. How long have you known Mark? 5 years. What capacity? Neighbors. Mark's going into financial services. Do you see him doing something like that? Yeah, he's got a pretty good personality. Do you see Mark as somebody who's trustworthy? Yeah. Anything else you'd like to add about Mark? No, he seems like a pretty good guy. I go, perfect. Mark's going into a training program with us. It's 3 weeks long. As part of his training program, when he comes out, he has to go through a job shadow program. Sounds to me like Mark has a lot of credibility with you. Would you be one of his job shadow appointments if you were under no obligation to get trained? Perry goes, sure, if I'm under no obligation. That's great, Perry. Thanks so much. Hey, listen, there is somebody I need to let you know, though. There'll be a professional trainer that will be training Mark. Is there any reason, if you saw value in what Mark's doing, that you wouldn't do business with him? No, not at all. Great. Let's book it tentatively for 6 weeks from now. Hey, Mark, how are you? Ray Young calling. Great news. Called you 6 person references, man. 5 of them are going to be your first 5 appointments. Remember I showed you, Mark, that you could get 70% commission? On average, it's about $1,000 production. So that's like $3,500 I just booked for you in appointments week 1. You excited about getting to class so you can make your $3,500 week 1?
Yeah.
Is that better than what you guys are doing? Say yes, it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
Guys, that's how I did it. There's no secrets, man. Who thinks this would work beautifully?
Yeah. Yeah.
I already know it does.
Well,
And I appreciate the guys that are recording me. Share this, guys, because I don't have a lot of time today, but I'm going to do Q&A in a minute, and I want to talk more about what you guys can do to help me this weekend to help the zone. You're the most powerful group in this company. Don't underestimate it. You don't want to go to the convention in 2018 and not be the ones with the ribbons, the banners, and the trophies. You don't. Trust me. You always want to be on the winning team. Always. Yeah.
right.
Give yourself a round of applause. You do. You want to be the leading edge. You want to be. And Perry's right. You guys have way more access to me than anybody else. You can see me every Friday in Whitby. I'm there. This women's thing is going to be, I'm telling you right now, you need to somehow, some way invite 5 women today and get them registered. You guys know that it's free to go. You get coffee, tea, snacks in the morning. Do you know every person that attends gets a gift bag worth, now it looks like it is $50. There's mud bath for women that are in there. There's protein bars. There's yoga clothing. This is free. It's free. I'll say it one more time. It's free.
Gift bag free?
Yes, the gift bag's free. It's free.
Yeah! Yeah!
Honestly, I mean, you need to understand what it is we're trying to do for you. Art Williams, who was the founder of Primerica, I was so fortunate to, and twice in my life I got to do one-on-one with that guy. Art today is worth about $4 billion. 1977, he was making $12,000 a year as a high school football coach. $4 billion because he built a version of this. And this, by the way, is far better. However, Art did what no other company did. He created a niche. His niche was buy term and invest the difference when everybody else was selling whole life insurance. Right? So he said, we're going to go destroy the insurance industry and expose the unethical practices between whole life insurance. I'm not weighing in on that either way for disclaimer for compliance. I'm not saying that I agree or disagree with Art, although I do agree. Just kidding, compliance. But we have our niche. And we are the only company that is protecting people's quality of life. There's other companies that sell some accident sickness. It's kind of one of those things. You know what I mean? It's like McDonald's sells a lot of quarter pounders and Big Macs, but they have fish fillet. Did you get it? Fish fillet is not their market. Their market is the Big Mac and the quarter pounder. Frankly. You guys understand? Our market is the hospital essentials. The fact that 80% of this room doesn't own every one of our products is astounding to me. In my previous business, you owned anything that company sold. When I was with Primerica, they sold prepaid legal, you bought prepaid legal. It was just that simple. I didn't like prepaid legal. But if you're going to be in that business, you own the product. Go buy a car, and you're going to buy a Mercedes, and the guy's driving a Chevy, you should reconsider your purchase. I'm serious. Because it doesn't make sense. You buy, there's loyalty in that. And guys, there's what? How many people are here? Pair? 50? 60? I don't know. How many people are here today? 70? If all of you just put on yourselves what you need and keep it on the books, go earn enough money so it makes sense, but you go, well, I did my budget, I don't know if I can afford it. Then do more appointments and you can. It's not confusing. If all of you added $100 to yourself today, you do 60, 70,000 APV today, and get yourselves back in the game. All I know about momentum, anybody who's ever played sports, okay, I was a Golden Gloves boxer, right? I'll tell you a secret about that. I had a horrible problem. I was trained by the Canadian Olympic coach because I was going to go to the Olympics. And I had a horrible problem lifting my back right foot off the canvas. You know what the problem with that is? Yep. People study you. And they study you and they'll go, as soon as Ray goes in for the left-right combo, his foot comes off, and that's the time to get me where, Paul? Right here. Guess what? You don't even have to hit me very hard.
Nope.
And I fall down. And when I fall down, guess what happens to my mindset? I'm like, shit. It didn't have to hurt, did it?
Nope, not too down.
I just had to be knocked down and go, I'm in trouble. True or false?
True.
Business works the same way. Zach, same way. Garth Drabinsky started Cineplex. You know Cineplex that we know today.
Yeah.
You remember back in the 80s, 90s, they had all these teeny tiny movie theaters. If you're from this area, Scarborough Town Center had one of the first ones. They had like 24 theaters. They sat like 50 people each. So Garth Drabinsky invented that company. You guys ever know that guy's name?
Yeah.
This is a great business story. I know Garth. I was somewhat friends with him. Shouldn't say that. Is he still in jail? I'm not sure. So Garth goes to London, England. Sees the Phantom of the Opera, his first live theater pair, falls in love with the Phantom. And what we know to be Mirvish Theater today, that was Pantages and all that, was a Cineplex theater. It had like 30 or 40 itty-bitty movie theaters inside that wonderful, beautiful building we see today. Garth comes back and he goes, we're restoring it to its original format. And he brought Phantom of the Opera to Toronto and created this company. It was called Live Ents at the time or something like that. Started doing these all around the world and owned the rights to the Phantom and made hundreds of millions of dollars. And then he lost momentum. And his company started doing this, and he didn't know how to fix it, so he fudged the books. Not so he could make more money. And he didn't embezzle money from his company. He just made it look like to the shareholders it was making money that it wasn't, which is completely illegal, because the lack of momentum was terrifying him. He didn't know how to fix it. Now, the right thing for him to do, if you know anything about business, would have been to rebuild a new brand and or sell the company and cut your losses. Instead, he thought he could just fudge the books for a year or two till the momentum came back, but of course, he got caught and went to jail. What I'm saying to you is you need to blitz your momentum legitimately, and legitimately is you being the steward of the products we sell. Do you think I need any combined insurance coverage? No. I could never run out of money. I'd have to have a drug problem. I'm that financially independent. I have royalties on 4 books. I have multiple companies. I would have to literally have a gambling or drug problem to run out of money now. I'm not being arrogant about that. I'm liquid. So if I end up, God forbid, sick or injured, there's enough money to take care of me and my family for the rest of our lives. We're financially independent. Who wants to be that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I did the same way you did. I didn't get lucky. I didn't win a lottery. Not only did I not inherit money, I funded both my mom and dad's lifestyles while they were dying. So how did I do it? Everything I just showed you. I was quiet, I was scared, I was shy, I was aloof, but I was never going to stay broke. And I was willing to do whatever it took if it wasn't immoral, unethical, or illegal to get wealthy. That's it. And was I uncomfortable? Yes. Was I scared? Yes. Did I want to get that pit out of my stomach 1,000,000 times a week? Yes. But the thought of remaining broke was way worse than any of those challenges. Guys, I have a system nobody else has. I was hired by a company called Party Light 5 years ago. A lot of you guys know that company. The founder of the company came in to see me do this presentation. Same thing you said, Paul. And she goes, I've never seen anybody train on how to get names and numbers like you do.
Never.
She goes, you're like the best kept name getter secret on the planet. And I'm right here. I work here. Perry didn't pay me. I'm actually buying you guys lunch. Make sure I get an attendance sheet, by the way. So I'm asking you, get your own backyard in check today. If you've done your 5 personal sales and you can make some changes to yours, do it. If you don't have our cancer care protection, don't, no. Yes. I just don't understand. Never mind hospital centers. I'm assuming you all have that. That would just be dumb. And anybody who doesn't own an ITOP, I mean, you're confused. Like, seriously. I sat down with a company yesterday, 17,000 employees. They're putting an ITOP on all 17,000. 170,000 in monthly premium I did yesterday. Yeah, so, whatever you guys are going to do today, I don't know. I'm kidding. But guys, that's $2+ million in annualized premium volume I did with a guy because we could relate. Because you want to know what happened to this guy? 16 years ago, he was fired by his company. So he created a version of his company. And today his company is worth $4 billion and is ranked number 3 in the world in their industry. I don't think I should say the name of the company just now because we're just in the midst of signing the contracts. But so I want to protect their privacy. 16 years ago, him and 3 guys were fired there from the company they work for, so they went and created their own version. 16 years later, he goes, all we care about now is giving more to our employees because we make too much money. He goes, we make more money than we could ever spend. He goes, our company's worth about $4 billion today. They're in 13 countries, 17,000 employees. I mean, and when I explained how the ITOP would supplement their current health and dental plan, and it's a doozy. Their RSPs and pension they're a doozy. And I said to him, he goes, what is this going to do that our plan won't? I go, day one, that's what it's going to do for you. They get a stitch, they get a check. I go, it's just that simple. So, guys, you need to be the stewards of this, and you need to level up your business today. Who wants to be back to be number 1 this week?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
let's
go.
So I just told you half. You know there's people that aren't here today that you can call, that are licensed in your business, and say, listen, Paul, I need a favor, man. Ray was in today, I want to show you a couple things, and you can talk about the 6 personal references unrelated to you. All I need you to do, Paul, is give me one person. I'm going to call Perry for you. Hey, Perry, how are you? Ray, Paul said all these great things about you. Will you come in? Perry says yes. Perry, will you bring 6 personal references unrelated to you? I just took Paul's 1 lead and turned it into 7. Get it? Then what am I going to do with those 6 as they start to become clients? I'm going to recruit one of those 6, and that turns it into another 6. That leads to another 6. That leads to another 6. And guess what I wasn't doing? Cold canvassing, prospecting, door knocking. I was networking. Networking 101. I was building. Do you guys understand?
Yes.
This is what I want to do. So who's committed to be number 1 this week?
Okay, let's go.
Okay? So if you guys are committed to it, you ask questions, you talk to Perry. Do not do anything that is unethical. Do not do anything that's not proper. Don't sell yourself a $700 a month policy when you don't have hope in hell of paying it. But man, you need to be committed effectively as leaders and a team. You will never sell what you don't own. I know I'm a broken record there. You know how much money you get paid if you guys do $50,000 today? Nothing. This don't make a lick of difference to me. But all I know is my best leaders were the biggest advocates of the products we sell. I'm telling you right now. I used to own a gas station with Esso. Guess where I bought all my gas? Esso. Then when I left Esso, I went to Shell. Guess where I bought all my gas? Shell. Well, everywhere? Yes, everywhere. Shell paid my family's groceries. So I bought their gas. Combined insurance, every time they give you a check, they pay your groceries, your mortgage, your quality of life. So you should pay them back by being loyal to the products that you're telling other people to own. That's what great leaders do. Guys, there ain't nothing that I do that I'm not involved in completely and totally. I love this company. I really do. It's just a great company, but it's a better opportunity than it's even a company. And you see, companies are companies and they're corporate, and they have profits and losses and bottom lines they must maintain. It's the opportunity it offers that I think makes it so great. Anybody can join this company. We'll upfront your startup costs. We'll get you fast-tracked and put you in a position that you can make $100,000 your first year.
Wow. Yeah, amazing.
It's true. I want to tell you a story about my daughter Haley. There's only 2 speakers at the women's event that work for this company. Angie, who's going to tell her story about coming from the Philippines, which, for those who've heard that story, there'll be no dry eye in the house. She takes pictures of her village, with her parents,